I would like to thank the organizer for the invitation to speak in this conference. So I will speak about this classicality problem, and the results are they come from a joint work with Christoph Breuil and Eugen Hellmann. So now I will explain, first I will explain the statement of the theorem. So the goal of the talk is to explain how we can generalize the following theorem of Mark-Ising, which says that if f is a cuspidal over convergent p-adic modular form, modular eigenform of weight k bigger than 2, then and if the p-adic Galois representation associated to this p-adic modular form is potentially semi-stable at p, then morally this cuspidal overconvergence p-adic modular form should be classical, and it's the case. So then the Galois representation is classical, which means that rho f is isomorphic to rho g for g true modular form, eigenform. So obviously now this theorem is a consequence of the much more general proof of the Fontaine-Mazer conjecture in dimension 2 by Ising and Emerton, but it was before this proof. So now we can ask what happens in dimension n, especially for unitary groups. So the goal is to generalize this theorem to compact unitary group, actually. So why we choose a compact unitary group? Because in this setting we have the theory of patching of Taylor-Wiles method of patching are well developed, and it's easier. Okay, so now I will define which unitary group we will consider. So consider F a totally real number field and fix P a prime. And for simplicity, I will assume that P is inert in F. In particular, you have only one place above P in F. It's easier to state the results. But our results should be valid in other cases too. And I will fix G, a unitary group defined over F, which is compact at infinity, so such that the F times R point of G is a compact group, and the p-adic point, so G of Fp, is isomorphic to GLN of Fp. And I will fix for all the talk UP a time level. That means a compact open subgroup of the point of G in the finite adels outside of P. Okay, so and probably I will often use the following letters. I will put that in it. In GLN, I will denote by B the Borel subgroup of upper triangular matrices, and T the maximal torus of diagonal matrices. And I will precise the point of the group each time. Okay, so in this context, we can define eigenvarieties. So, which were defined in this context, I think first by Chenevier and independently by Emerton, but building on the previous work of Coleman, Mather, and Buzzard. In fact, the first case is with Coleman, Mather, with the case of modular forms. Okay, so I will recall what are these eigenvarieties briefly. So to define these eigenvarieties, I have to introduce the space of p-adic automorphic forms over G, which is the following space. You consider, I will denote it by S hat, the space of all continuous function over this double quotient. You take the point of G in the finite ideals, and you look at functions which are invariant to the left under the rational point of the group, and which are invariant on the right by the fixed time level UP. Okay, and so you consider all continuous function over this double quotient. Perhaps okay, too late. This space, so it is a p-adic Banner space on which you have two actions. You have an action of a p-adic Lie group given by the FP point of the group G, which comes from the fact that we didn't fix any level at P, and an action of a big Eke algebra T, which is a faithful action, which is a kind of, it's a completion of the ZP algebra generated by all Eke operator TV. I won't define precisely, but there are the TV, it's the spherical Eke operators at places V, which doesn't divide P. It means that I only consider places V where the time level UP is hyperspecial, actually. Okay, and you take weak completion of this algebra. It means the completion with the weak topology. And this is Noetherian complete semi-local algebra. Ah no, it's not finite, it's compact. It's a compact group, compact space, which is, because I didn't fix any level at P, actually. Yes, U upper P is a subgroup of the Adels prime to P. Okay, and so the eigenvariety of time level UP is a rigid analytic space whose closed point, QP bar point, are in bijection with the following set. You take the pair of element psi and delta, where psi is a continuous character of this big Eke algebra, and delta is a continuous character of the p-adic torus. So T is this torus, you take the point in Fp, such that what? So I will write the definition and I will explain what it means. If you look at the Jacquet module defined by Emerton of all p-adic automorphic forms which are eigenvectors from this character psi and which are locally analytic and stands in these Jacquet modules, you can find an eigenvectors for the action of Fp under the character delta. So you want that. Okay, it is non-zero. So now perhaps I should explain what is this Jacquet module and what is the link with usual p-adic automorphic forms. If you take big pi, a representation of the group GLN of Fp, which is locally analytic. Locally analytic means that the orbit maps are locally analytic, so can be defined locally by convergent power series. Then Emerton define something which is called an analog of the Jacquet functor. In pi, what it is oh, I'm a bit sketchy here, but you take all the elements which are invariant over under a compact unipotent subgroup. So you take the point of the unipotent upper subgroup which are integer entries. So on this subspace, you have an action of a submonoid T plus a submonoid of this torus of this p-adic torus, which acts through Eke operator, which are much more the analog of Atkin-Lenners operator. In fact, you ask that the group generated by T plus is all of TFP, and and you take the finite part, the finite slope part of this space for the action of this monoid, which means the subspace where the action of T plus is invertible. Okay, and so this space delta of GB of S hat is just the eigenspace of this Jacquet module for the action of delta. Okay, so in delta you have, it's a combination of the weight of the p-adic modular forms and of the action of Atkin-Lenners operator. Okay. I will try. Okay. Yes, that's okay. Okay, so that's for the. Oh, that's good because I have something to write here. So that's for the p-adic form interpretation of the Jacquet module, but we have a representation theoretic interpretation of the Jacquet module, which is much more interesting for us, and which is given by a reciprocity formula. In fact, this space of T equivariant homomorphism from delta in the Jacquet module is isomorphic to the space of G of Fp equivariant morphism from, so inside this space of locally analytic vectors from something which is a locally analytic representation of GFP. So in fact, we would like to write here a kind of parabolic induction from the, okay, B bar is the opposite Borel to B. From the opposite Borel to G of Fp of this character delta, but it's not exactly what happened. In fact, you have to take a kind of dual. So this dual is a locally analytic representation, which can be constructed by a method of Ehrlich and Strauch. And you can really think to it as a dual to the parabolic induction because it has the same Jordan-Holder factors, but in the other sense. You will exchange the Sokal and the co-Sokal and all intermediate things. Okay, so, but I won't give a precise definition because it's not so useful for what I will say. But it's useful, but Okay, so for example, okay, and this reciprocity isomorphism. So the definition of the Jacquet module is due to Emerton, and this reciprocity is due to Breuil. Okay, so now I will really think to the point of this eigenvariety as morphism of this dual parabolic induction into this space of automorphic representation. Okay, so now I give a definition. Take a point x in the eigenvariety, and we will say that x is classical if, so first, delta is a locally algebraic dominant character of T, by this T of Fp. By this I mean that if you restrict delta to some sufficiently small compact open subgroup of T, it is given by an algebraic formula. It means that it is the product over all embeddings of Fp in Qp bar of the product over I from 1 to n of tau xi to the k tau I, where this k tau I, k tau 1, form a decreasing sequence of integers. Okay, dominant means that the sequence is decreasing. It's dominant with respect to this Borel B. Yeah. So that's the first point. Oops, one. And two, that there exists, here, we know that there exists a map from this dual parabolic induction to this space of eigenforms, locally analytic eigenforms. And so now as delta is locally algebraic dominant, we know that in this parabolic induction there is a non-zero subspace of locally algebraic vectors. But now, as we take the dual of this parabolic induction, these locally algebraic vectors are vectors on which the orbits, for which the orbit map is locally polynomial. So it generates a finite dimensional sub-representation of GLN of Fp. They appear in a quotient of this parabolic induction because we took the dual. Okay, and we say that X is classical if there exists such a non-zero map which factors through the locally algebraic quotient. And in fact, it means exactly that in the locally algebraic subspace of this space of p-adic automorphic form, you have classical eigenforms. So that it rejoins the usual definition of classicality. Okay. So obviously, if you are in this situation, you can find really a true automorphic forms of algebraic weight, which is an eigenvector for psi and delta. Okay, so now I can almost state the main theorem, but I have just to give another definition. So now assume that X is a point as here. And now assume that the Galois representation, so the Galois representation of, you are with a unitary group, so you can associate to such a p-adic over convergence automorphic form a Galois representation of a CM extension of F. So that's not the Galois group of F, but here E is a CM extension of F, which split the unitary group we choose at the beginning. So we have such a continuous representation. And assume that rho, the restriction to the decomposition group in P of this Galois representation is crystalline. We would like to deduce that in this case, the point X is classical. But we need some hypothesis on supplementary hypothesis on X, I will explain no, so I should descend this one. No, this one. So, okay, and assume this, and assume moreover that delta, yes? Qu'est-ce que j'ai écrit? Ah, Q-bar, sorry. But I won't descend the blackboard. Yes, sorry, that's Q-bar. But you can embed Q-bar in QP-bar. Ah, no, that's okay, it doesn't work. Okay, so on delta, assume moreover that delta is algebraic. And dominant. Okay, so now you can consider the Frobenius endomorphism over the Fontaine module of rho xp. I will denote rho xp the restriction of rho x to Galois of fp. I should have cited. Okay, and we will consider the power of this Frobenius endomorphism, which is linear, and we will assume that phi is regular and semi-simple, which means that its eigenvalues are pairwise distinct, actually. Okay, now, in fact, by local global compatibility, the choice of delta induces an ordering of the eigenvalues of phi, which is called refinement by Belaïch and Chendier. And this ordering characterizes a unique phi stable flag inside this decrease of rho xp. Okay, and now for each embedding tau of fp in qp bar, you obtain a flag in the tau part of the de Rham module of rho xp. So you just extend the scalar from what is it, fp naught to qp bar using the embedding tau of fp. Yes, in fact, delta is locally algebraic, and so it's given by such a character with k to 1, k to n, and you can deduce the Hodge state weight of this Galois representation from this this weight by a really easy recipe, but I don't need it, for instance. So I didn't write it. That by local global compatibility along the eigenvariety. Okay. Okay, and now we define an element, a permutation, an element of the Weil group of GLN, which I mean Wx tau, by the following recipe. So here we have a flag, I will denote it by fx, it's characterized by the point x, so fx tau. So which is such that the pair fx tau and the de Rham filtration, because no, you have on d de Rham you have a Hodge filtration. So the Hodge filtration is another flag. You can compare these two flags and you ask that they are in relative position Wx2. So which is equivalent to ask that this Hodge flag is an element of the Brua orbit given by this you look at this phi stable flag, and you look at the Brua orbit of the image of this phi stable flag by the longest element of the Weil group multiplied by Wx2. Okay, so now we define a family Wx of element of the product of this Weil group indexed by all the embedding of Fp inside Qp bar. Okay. And now with this definition, I can state the main theorem. So you have to do some hypotheses. I won't detail because it's not so interesting. So first you have some, if you really want to know what they are, we can ask after the talk. Hypothesis on G, F, UP. We have to do which come essentially from the, okay, which can probably be removed with the endoscopic classification of automorphic representation of G. You have to do hypothesis on the reduction mod P. First choose a point X on the eigenvariety as above. Which means rho X is crystalline, and check all these hypotheses here. You have to assume that the restriction of mod P of rho bar X is in restriction. It's a usual Taylor-Wiles assumption. So, in a subgroup of the absolute Galois group of GE is absolutely irreducible, and that P is strictly bigger than 2n plus 1. So it's essential to the method. They are constraints coming from the patching method. And a third hypothesis, which is interesting for us, and I will come back on it later, is about this permutation Wx, which is that for each embedding tau, Wx tau is a product of distinct simple reflection. In the Weil group, because in the Weil group you fix the Borel subgroup, so you have a set of simple reflection. So for example, for GL3, you don't want to consider the permutation S1, S2, S1. For example, 3 to 1. Okay, so in this context, X is classical. Okay, so that's the statement of the theorem. In fact, this hypothesis is important, and I will come back on it later. I assume that delta is algebraic dominant, yes. In fact, it's implied by the local global compatibility, because the Frobenius eigenvalues are given by the smooth part of delta, and so because the point is crystalline, the smooth part is unramified. So the character is algebraic with restriction to the maximal compact subgroup of the torus. No, I assume in fact, if I choose a point which is crystalline, then the character is automatically locally algebraic. But here I assume moreover that it is dominant. And that's an important hypothesis, that the character is dominant. Okay, and I have another hypothesis to write, but which not so essential, so I won't do it. You have to exclude essentially the semi-stable, the point which could be semi-stable. No, I assume rho x crystalline. Yes. Okay, I won't write it. It's not essential for the talk. No, I assume that it is local. In fact, if you take a point x on the eigenvariety, and if you assume that rho x is crystalline, then if yes, it implies that delta should be in restriction to T of OFP is algebraic. It's automatic. But now I assume, moreover, that it is dominant, which is not automatic. You could have such point. Yes. No, an algebraic character is not necessarily dominant.
No, but just when you say dominant, you mean as an algebraic character.
Yes, yes.
So it's like this restriction.
Yes, yes. No. Yes, no, the Frobenius eigenvalues give you a phi stable flag, actually, the order. You take the flag, which first part is the eigenspace for the first Frobenius eigenvalue, and you add them successively. Okay, so now I would like to give an idea of the proof. The first thing we have to remark is that if you look at this local Galois representation, so if X is an eigenvariety, this representation is always trianguline. So perhaps I will recall what is a trianguline representation. So look at the representation rho of the absolute Galois group of the p-adic field Fp. Take a continuous representation like this. You can consider its phi gamma module over the rho bar ring. And you say that rho is trianguline if and only if d-rig of rho is a successive extension of rank 1 objects. Okay? And you know from so it's a notion which was introduced by Kolmez, and you know that if a rank 1 object of over the rho bar ring is characterized by a character, rank 1 objects are the isomorphism class of rank 1 objects are in bijection with character delta of Fp star. So this succession of rank 1 objects gives you a succession of characters of Fp stars. Yes, sorry. Yes. Thank you. Yes. I think it's not so much. You can. I don't want to do the computation, but you can probably something like 2 to the n sur n factorial. No, yes, probably yes, it exists. There are 2 to the n. No, yes. Okay, exercise. Okay. So if rho is trianguline, then you can write its phi gamma module over rho bar as an extension of rank 1 phi gamma module of rank 1, which are given by characters of the torus. And so you can put all these characters together to obtain a character of the p-adic torus, delta, and you say that delta is a parameter of rho, yes. Okay, and so from this, you can define a rigid analytic space, which was defined by Eugen-Hellman after ideas of Kissin and Belaïch-Chenevier. Yes, I think that's associated to perhaps I should now fix some notation. I choose a point x as in the theorem, and I will fix now rho bar, the reduction mod p of rho bar x, and I will note rho bar p, the restriction of rho bar to a decomposition group in P. Okay, and now I can define the space of trianguline deformation of rho bar P, x3 of rho bar, so it's a definition due to Eugen-Hellman. It is, I will denote by x r rho bar P the universal deformation space of rho bar P. So perhaps I should write it here. If R is local Noetherian algebra, I will denote by XR the rigid analytic space which represents the continuous character of rho bar, of R. Sorry. And if H is a commutative p-adic Lie group, I will denote by H hat the rigid analytic space parameterizing characters, continuous characters of H. Okay, and now I look at the universal deformation algebra of rho bar P and the rigid analytic space parameterizing its characters. In characteristic 0, of course. So it's a rigid analytic space, and I take the product with the rigid analytic space parameterizing characters of the torus, p-adic torus, and we define the trianguline space as a closed rigid analytic subspace, which is defined as the Zariski closure of the set of all pairs rho p delta such that rho p is trianguline of parameter delta. And this process of taking a Zariski closure is really essential because this space is not a closed, Zariski closed subspace of this product of rigid analytic spaces. So perhaps here I didn't say it, but it's a supplementary hypothesis. We will assume that rho bar P is absolutely irreducible to be able to speak about universal deformation ring. And so on. Okay. Okay, that's good because I have to state another theorem. So the main ingredient in the proof of the previous theorem is the following theorem we proved in another paper. So under the same hypothesis, I didn't write on G, UP, F, rho bar, etc. There exists, sorry, I just add something. There is a proposition we can prove, is that this space of trianguline representation is equidimensional of dimension 1 plus n plus 1 over 2 times the degree of fp over qp. Okay, so under this, the same hypothesis, there exists a closed analytic subspace of this local deformation space, which is a union of irreducible components That's why I precise that it is equidimensional, so it's really a big space anyway, such that there is an isomorphism of rigid analytic space between the eigenvariety, the rho bar part of the eigenvariety. So you take all points whose Galois associated Galois representation reduces on rho bar, this one, is isomorphic to the fiber product of this union of irreducible component of the triangular space with the global deformation space. So you take the deformation space of the global representation rho bar over the local deformation space. Okay, so in fact, I won't explain the construction, but to construct this map from the eigenvariety to this fiber product, you have essentially to construct a map from this global eigenvariety to this space of trianguline representation, which is the analog of the local eigenvariety. And to do this, you use the local global compatibility and density of classical points inside this eigenvariety. And the statement of the theorem is that the image is exactly the Bass change of a union of irreducible components. So in fact, that a version of a patching method in the setting of eigenvariety. Okay, and the proof uses the big patched representation of GLN of FP constructed by Karayani, okay, Emerton, G, Geraghty, Pascunas, and Shin. And in fact, we can even characterize the point of this subspace using this representation. So I will just take a brief word about this construction. So what they constructed, they wanted to patch the space of p-adic modular form without level in P, the one I defined at the beginning, this one. So you obtain a Banach space representation with an action of GLN of Fp on one side, and on the other side, an action of a ring R infinity, which is a ring of power series with a local deformation space. And in fact, for the statement, I will only use the action of this local deformation space. So the characterization, you have a characterization of point of this automorphic components of the triangulin space. So they are points which are pairs of deformation of the Galois representation, one character of the torus. And you know that a point is in this union of irreducible components if and only if you will see exactly the same properties that for the eigenvariety. You have an equivariant map from the character delta in the Jacquet module, but now of this representation pi infinity, and you take the rho p isotypic part coming from the action of r rho bar p over pi infinity. Okay, you ask that this is non-zero. Okay, so it's exactly as for the global eigenvariety. Okay, and so I recall you that it is the same as the space of G of FP equivariant map from this dual locally analytic parabolic induction to this isotypic part. So you take the analytic vectors too. Okay, so that's the main ingredient of the proof, and now I will try to explain how we can use it. So I have to introduce, one more definition. So I recall that we started with a point psi delta of this eigenvariety, which stands obviously over rho bar by hypothesis, and we have a map from this global eigenvariety in this union of automorphic component of the local triangulin space, and so these maps give you a point x tilde, which is the pair rho xp delta. Okay, and by hypothesis we know that rho xp is crystalline. Okay, and now we know what are its hot state weights. Its hot state weights are given by the weights of delta. Delta is locally algebraic, so you have some weights. And so you can consider the following subspace of the triangulin space. So I will denote it by xk Chris inside x3. It is the subset of pairs rho p delta such that rho p is crystalline, of hot state weights, not exactly k, but given by k in the usual recipe. I won't detail it. And delta locally algebraic of weight k. Okay, and this space looks really like the space of crystalline deformation of rho bar p. So we know by result of Kissin that it is smooth at x tilde. In the neighborhood of x tilde, it's smooth because we assume that the eigenvalues of the Frobenius operators are distinct. In fact, you can see this as the space of crystalline representation with an order of Frobenius eigenvalues, if you want. And consequently, as it is smooth at x, you can deduce that that's not completely obvious, but you can deduce that there exists a unique irreducible component Cx of the triangulin space containing a little neighborhood, neighborhood of x tilde here. X tilde in this crystalline subspace. And we have the following very general criterion proposition that x is classical So I recall you that x is the point of the eigenvariety which is there. Okay. If and only if the whole component, we could call this component the crystalline component. The crystalline component at x tilde is contained in this automorphic part. So you see, you have a point x tilde. You know that it is on this, in this automorphic subspace, but you don't know, it could be just on the intersection of an automorphic component and a component which is not automorphic. And this component which is automorphic is not necessarily this crystalline component. Okay. In fact, it says that you can move in the crystalline subspace inside the automorphic part, this condition. So perhaps if I have time, I could give an idea of the proof, but it's in fact the usual idea of the patching method. Not yet. That's what before giving the proof I want. It's already true. This yes. It doesn't choose. Yes, I should say this. It doesn't choose the condition on Wx. Okay. And now I will. Why do we need this condition? By the following fact. It's another proposition. It's the following. Yes. So if x, if y is a point of this trianguline variety, which is okay, say it is automorphic. Assume that rho y, so x is rho y delta. So assume rho y is crystalline of pairwise distinct Holstein weights. Assume the same hypothesis as before on the Frobenius eigenvalue, so Frobenius semi-simple. Then you can associate to this point an element of this product of Weil group. And if Wy2 is a product, as before, a product of distinct simple reflection, then the trianguline variety is smooth at y. So you see that this, I could say proposition 1 and proposition 2. If you put these two propositions together, you have the theorem, because now you want to prove that this irreducible component is contained in the automorphic part, but you know that the space is smooth at this point. So obviously you have only one irreducible component, and you know that there is already an automorphic point in this component, which is the one given by the one coming from the eigenvariety. So if you have these two propositions, you are done. And what should I say? And so okay, it's the most. I have 5 minutes. Okay, I will just say one word about the proof of proposition 2. In fact, what we do, and that's the only thing we can do, is to compute the dimension of the trianguline space at this point y, and we saw that it is less than the dimension of x3. In fact, okay, and it relies on theorem of Bergdahl about refined families of trianguline representation. Okay, in fact, by the theorem of Bergdahl, we can bound the image of this tangent space in the tangent space of the weight space, and after this, we try to bound the dimension of the tangent space of the fiber. But I should say that what we expect is that in proposition 2, the hypothesis, the proposition 2 is optimal for the smoothness. Probably at other points, in fact, this numerical, this condition on the element of the Weil group is a characterization of points which are smooth triangular invariant. So we have to find another way to apply proposition 1 to the theorem. So to prove that at an automorphic point, you have only, okay, not only one irreducible component, but that the crystalline irreducible component is in the automorphic locus. Okay. And so perhaps I have 2 minutes. 2 minutes to speak about the proof of proposition 1. Okay, so I recall you that we fixed a point with ρ p crystalline of weight, say, k. K is a collection of these k ito, which are integers. So the usual Taylor-Wise-Kizin method of patching gives you a coherent sheaf M infinity k cris on the, okay, I will be very sketchy, on the crystalline deformation space of weight k of rho bar p. Okay, and its support, in fact, you have to add some product of open unit disk, and its support is a union of irreducible components. So if you assume the hypothesis of proposition 1 that that this irreducible component is automorphic, you can move from x tilde inside this deformation ring to another point y tilde, which is still in the automorphic component of the triangular space, but now such that the Galois representation associated to y tilde is generic. And by generic, I mean that the Hodge filtration is in generic position with respect to the Frobenius. Okay, but now as y tilde is in the automorphic part, you know that I'm finished. I just finish here. You know that you have a map from this parabolic dual locally analytic parabolic induction in the rho y tilde part of pi infinity. Here you have a locally algebraic quotient. And in fact, the genericness assumption permits you to deduce that it factors through the locally algebraic vectors. This implies that rho y tilde is in the support of this patching module, and consequently that x tilde is also in the support of the patching modules, and consequently that x tilde is automorphic. And this case of Weissenmans is an analog of of a reasonment of Chenvier, because I forgot to tell it, but Chenvier proves the theorem in the non-critical case. Non-critical is the case where all the Wx tau are equal to 1. Okay, sorry, I overlap a little bit. I will finish. No, that's not easy to deduce because you have this fiber product here. So x3 hot times x rho bar p. Okay, and you see that effectively the eigenvariety comes after. Well, I think you wrote that was equal, though. Yes. Okay, and yes, what I mean is that this is a closed subset of the product of this triangulin space with the product of open unit disk. And this space here is cut out by a regular sequence of variables coming from the patching methods, which are y1, y2, yq. But you can deduce that it is Cohen-Macaulay, but that's all. You can deduce that it is smooth at this point. I guess. Yes.
So, for instance, with the file element is the transition 1-3, do you expect then somehow that the eigenvariety is going to be singular at that point?
I don't know. I would expect that the eigenvariety is singular, but I have not so evidence for this. Yes. Yes, if we tried some example, and in fact, on some example, it appears that we can construct a few more components in the tangent space, but it's not correctly written yet, so I'm not sure.